Hi, my name is Jun-won Choi. I am a jazz guitarist and educator. For the last several years, I have been passing down the apprenticeship-based way I learned jazz guitar. Not shortcuts, not tricks, but how this music actually gets internalized. And today, I want to talk about something almost every jazz guitarist experience, but very few people explain clearly. If you have been playing jazz guitar for a few years, you probably feel stuck in a very specific way. You know the chords, you know the scales, which is the same thing. The chord, the scales. You might even know a lot of theory, but your solos still feel flat, disconnected. Like you are playing things instead of saying something. Most people assume this means I'm not practicing enough or I am missing some advanced concept. That assumption is wrong. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most jazz guitar plateau don't come from lack of effort. They come from practicing the wrong priority for too long. You were probably trained to think like this. First, I learn scales. Then, I apply them to chords. Eventually, music will happen, but jazz does not work that way. Jazz musicians do not build solo from scales. They move through melodies. And until melody becomes the center of your thinking, no amount of extra practice will solve this problem. Let me show you what I mean. You guys are maybe practicing this chord tone or the scales. Let me try the scale way. Yeah, sounds almost the same because it starts from the roots. What I hear is this. Right? Or scale. Yeah. But the way I trained is from the melody, from the internal structure where the melody shows how harmony is moving. if I can target the right target at the right moments, it can be sound like this. This is a little bit intense, but you will hear the melody and the chord harmony movement. Every chromatic movement to the target. So, notice something important. Nothing was technically wrong. The notes were not incorrect. But one version sounds like a motion and the other sounds like navigation without direction. The difference has nothing to do with speed or chops. It has everything to do with melody awareness. Here's the shift that changes everything. Jazz improvisation is not which scale fits this chord. It is where is the melody already going. Great jazz musicians do not invent direction, they recognize it. The composers already embedded melodic logic into these tunes. Circular fifth motion, strong guide tone movement, melodies that target the third of the chord. Your job as an improviser is not to override that logic, but to ride it. And that is where the VoiceLid jazz guitar framework begins. Step 1 is melody aware framework. Before scales, before licks, before anything fancy, you must be able to answer one question instantly. Where is the melody pulling right now? This means understanding why melodies target the third, hearing guide tone gravity, feeling forward motion without adding notes. If this step is missing, every after it collapses. What I notice from my student, advanced student, who they want to be a professional musicians, they once get the step number 1, but after they are being good at, they treat the West line and Django line as another scale form or licks or another just chunk of that shape. And that happens, it sounds exactly same as the scale players, because they are not putting the third at the right moment. That cannot be the sound same, because the alignment is gone. It will just be sounds like two abstract just scale players. So this is really important. You should not miss the step 1, even if you are playing in step number 10, step number 100. Doesn't mean you can miss out the step number 1 unless you have better replacement. the one thing I really want to teach you is the blues, which is my next project. The blues is the key that jazz composers, especially the Duke Ellington, is embedded the blues into the AABA form or 32 bar form. When their movement, the chord change movement happens, there is always you can find the blues you can play. So that is the another way, but I want to focusing on right now the movement of the third over the chord. So after you focusing on the step number 1, you should feel like this. This is not more information. This is better alignment. And once this framework is stable, something interesting happens. The upper structure stops feeling abstract. Upper structures do not come from theory chart, they come from melody extension. When melody awareness is clear, triads, tensions, and colors appear automatically. You are no longer guessing. You are responding. So, the upper structure, why we are thinking in upper structure, the one is by we are targeting the third of the chord all the time, it becomes another chord from the third. So F minor 7, if we don't play the root and put our upper structure tension, which is tension 9, then it became A flat major 7, which is of the bass note is originally the third of the F minor. And the same thing, we already target this third note of the B flat minor, and then the upper structure becomes the upper of the third, the D flat major 7. And then when it goes to the dominant 7, the dominant 7 could have any upper structure. But in this case, I want to use it as a D flat major 7 flat 5 because 2 chord and the 5 chord are just staying in the same function. So D flat major and D flat major 7 flat 5, it can be just stay there with this same Django line, right? So once we going in this way, we already hit the Django line, right? So once the melodic idea is clear, you expand it across the fretboard. This is not random, this is not vertical, but diagonally through octave logic, Django line and West line. This is same idea but bigger canvas. This is how lines stay coherent across the neck. But that coherency is coming from the step number 1 because we are still targeting the third of the chord, which is the melody. It sounds like this is the moment most players realize, oh, this is not about knowing more. It is about seeing the music differently. And here is the key point. It does not matter if the tune is Fly Me to the Moon or All the Things You Are, Autumn Leaves. The logic is the same. Even if you are in different tunes, Misty, Days of Wine and Roses, any tunes. The logic is the same. Melody leads, framework stabilized, upper structures appear, octave expand naturally. This is not tune-specific knowledge, it is musical literacy. If you want to see how this logic works, inside real Wes Montgomery solos, that is exactly what I break down in Jazz Icon vs. Insight on my website, the link down below in the description section. That is the deep dive. But if you feel like I need to rebuild my foundation the right way, then you can start with essential building blocks. Also, I put the link below. Register on my website, go through the free lessons, and enter the VoiceLid jazz guitar ecosystem step by step. In the next episode, I am going to be more direct. I will explain why scale-based thinking actively blocks melodic development, and why so many smart guitarists get trapped there for years. If this episode made you uncomfortable, it's good. That is where real progress starts. So, until I see you again, please keep swinging, and I will see you in the next video.